Okay, this is another deck that's actually pretty easy to make. All you really have to do is just get 3 of the new Machina Structure deck. So this is a machine deck. Okay, to start off, 3 Machina Fortress, basically the main monster of the deck. 2500 attack. Really easy to special summon because of the support cards in here. And it's got a pretty good effect too. When it's destroyed by battle, sends the graveyard, select and destroy one card your opponent controls. And then when this face-up card is also targeted by an effect monster's effect, you get to look at your opponent's hand and discard one card from their hand. So, you know, when they use, let's say they try to summon Caius, if they're gonna target this guy with Caius effect to remove him, well, he'll get removed, but you get to look at your opponent's hand and discard a card. So it forces your opponent to make some bad plays that could potentially have some negative consequences, and it might work in your favor. So yeah, it's a really good ultra rare for a structure deck. Probably the best one since Caius the Shadow Monarch. Okay, 3 Machina Gearframe. Basically, this guy's a machine Stratos, 1800 attack. When you summon him, you can search out Machina monster. So, what will happen is when you summon him, you'll either search out Fortress if you don't have one, or if you already have Fortress, you'll search out this guy, Machina Force, and then you'll do a combo where you can discard Force from your hand to special summon this guy from either your graveyard or your hand. So yeah, this card's really good. 1 Machina Force. You'll never summon this guy. All he'll do is he'll be used like I explained. You'll just have him in your hand, and when you want to summon Fortress from either the graveyard or your hand, you'll just discard this guy, get this guy back from the graveyard to the field, or get him from your hand to the field. 2 Ancient Gear Gadjitron Dragon. Now this guy was available in the first machine structure deck that came out. You don't really need this guy if you don't have him. You can just use 2 more Force, so you can have 3 Force, and that actually will speed up summoning this guy, give you more ways of summoning him. But this works with summoning Force as well. You discard your Gadjitron Dragon to the graveyard to get this guy from the graveyard or from your hand to the field. And then you can use Call the Haunted or Monster Reborn and get this guy back and attack with him. And obviously, Gadjitron Dragon's effect is your opponent can't use Mirror Force, can't use Dimensional Prison, can't use Sakuretsu Armor, or any of that stuff. Book of Moon, they can't use it when this guy is attacking. So yeah, and if I remember correctly, I think he also inflicts the difference between if he attacks like a Spear Reaper, he'll still inflict the difference. I can't remember if he does that or not. But yeah, he's really good. He's 3000 attack. 2 Machina Peacekeeper, Union monster, basically used to when he goes to the graveyard from the field, you can get a Union monster from your deck to your hand. So he helps pull Machina Gearframe to your hand from the deck. So yeah, he's a pretty good searcher card. Alright, 2 Yellow Gadgets, 2 Red Gadgets, 2 Green Gadgets. Alright, 2 Cyber Dragon, basically 2100 attack. When your opponent has a monster in the field, you don't have any monsters in the field, special summon from the hand. So he allows you to do a double summon. He's good for synchroing. This deck doesn't use any synchros, but Cyber Dragon is just a pretty good card overall. 2 Scrap Recycler. When he's normal summon or special summon, you can send a machine monster from your deck to the graveyard, so he helps thin the deck. He helps get Fortress to the graveyard from the decks, and Fortress is easy to summon from the graveyard or your hand, so you want to get this guy in the graveyard. So yeah, Scrap Recycler is pretty good. He also makes you return you can return level 4 machine earth monsters from the graveyard to the deck and draw 1 card. So you can basically send this guy back to the deck and then draw a card. So yeah, he's pretty good. Okay, for spells, 2 hand destruction, adds draw power, helps fill the graveyard up, get fortress in the graveyard. Yeah, and forces your opponent to discard stuff that they may not want to discard. So pretty good draw card in this format. 1 solidarity, everything in the deck is machine, so when this continuous spell card's up, all your monsters gain plus 800 attack, so this is really good. 1 Burden of the Mighty. Could be using 2 solidarity, but just for variety, we got 1 of these and 1 of these. This thing weakens all your opponent's monsters. The higher level they are, the weaker they get, so this really weakens monarchs quite a bit. 1 giant Trunade, the new heavy storm. Clear your opponent's back row for that 1 turn that you need to push with limited removal or anything. You got 1 lightning vortex, 1 fissure. This should be smashing ground, but whatever. 1 sword, stable. Dark hole, stable. Destroy all monsters on the field. 1 monster reborn, stable. MST times 2. You know, help clear that back row when you want to attack with Fortress and push for game. 1 limit removal, stable for machine decks. Doubles the attack of all your face-up machine monsters that turn. And then on the end phase, they get destroyed. But so this is kind of like a OTK or a last turn type of push card that you use when you want to end the duel. 2 rollout, get back your union monsters from the graveyard, equip them to your monsters, so when you attack, if they run into a mirror force or something, you can protect them. The union monster will die, but the monster will live. 3 dimensional prison. Basically, it's Sakuretsu armor. The only difference is it removes the attacking monster from play instead of sending him to the graveyard. So it's messes with zombies and light sworns. Yeah, it's pretty good. And finally, 1 called Haunted.